Out of all the products that you've sold throughout the years in Newport, what would be the most popular, would you say?
Right up till 4 years ago, I would say French prunes.
French prunes?
French prunes. They were stoned prunes, so you were paying for the stone as well as the flesh. And I thought, well, that's a bit, but we sold boxes of these damn things. We used to deliver them all over the island, 12.5 kilo box of prunes. So it was rumoured that we kept the island going in every way. But of recently, the best-selling product, has been Chinese curry sauce.
Why? Why would that?
Why? Well, yes, you may ask.
It's a very unusual product, and I'm sure you can. I don't know. I've never tried to buy it.
Well,
it must be available in other places.
I don't know. We have still have a great trade in when we can get it. It's in a tub. All you have to remember is the number 5. It all started off with a takeaway in Ventnor requesting this particular product. And yeah, we found it quite easily, Chinese curry sauce. And they came in a box of 12, if I remember. So I carried it in the Morris Minor out to Ventnor. But because we work during the day and the Chinese takeaway is an evening time, I was left outside the door trying to balance the box and knock on the door.
Yes.
Because you don't like putting boxes down because dogs may have.
Well, exactly.
So you're balancing this box on your knee and bashing on the door. And unfortunately, the box slipped and one cracked.
Oh dear.
So when the Chinese guy came, I said, I'm sorry, I've damaged one. I said, but we'll work it out, what it would have been 12, what it would have been 11. And so I took the one that I'd smashed home. I thought, I'll have a go at this. And I say the rule of 5 applies. You have 1 scoop of this very hard, solid liquid. Not a liquid, it's a solid format. And you put in 5 tablespoons of water. You bring it to the boil slowly and simmer it for 5 minutes. And you produce this wonderful sauce, absolutely gorgeous. It's thick, just like the ones you get from the takeaway, obviously. But I found that I could do it to put 7 parts of water in it, make it a bit thinner. And on Cornish pasties, wow, this is something else. It's marvellous stuff on a Cornish pasty. I had one last night.
So this product's still going?
Oh, this product's still going, yeah. We could never get enough of it.
Fantastic. Tell us a bit about your customers, because I understand that you've had various types of customers. I think I mentioned once before, I heard that you had Filipinos.
Oh yes, we've
a
always.
lot of those on the island, I believe, and they seem to find your shop quite nicely, didn't they?
There was a lot of Filipinos came over at a particular time for care homes and for St Mary's. They're marvellous people. They all speak wonderful English, and I've been in the Philippines. The ship, one of the frigates I was on, was based in Singapore, and we spent a lot of time with the American Navy in Subic Bay. So I picked up certain words like good morning, good afternoon, good evening, thank you, goodbye, and Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and Happy Valentine's Day. So, I was able to count as well in Filipino. And they found me, I suppose, interesting, funny, that I could speak some of the language. And we bought numerous products for them as they requested. And they were very, very good customers to us,
So
very loyal.
You seem to source products to meet your customers, which is a very unusual these days way of doing business.
I don't know, I think that's the way it should be done.
I believe that's right as well. But a lot of people these days will just sell whatever they've got to sell and won't put their way out, go out of their way to source a product specifically for a certain type of customer.
Yes.
And I think that's partially your success there.
It may well have been, but I'm not a great chef. I can do certain things passable. And like all the herbs and spices we sell, it all started off with one customer in Ryde. He said, can you get caraway seeds? Yeah, I said, isn't caraway seedy cake an Isle of Wight cake? I said, yes it is. He said, I want to make seedy cake. So yeah, we found a supplier for caraway seeds. And then somebody said, oh, I see you sell caraway, you don't sell. Right. And so from one product, the whole part of the shop is filled up with...
Well, I've actually seen your display of this type of product, and it's an immense amount of spices and everything you have in that particular area. How many would you say?
I think we've got about... I make the labels. So I think we sell about 85 spices and herbs.
Fantastic.
And there's a lot of control over them. My wife is very strict that they run out and then they get refreshed. They don't just stand there. If they're stale, she'll throw that amount away.
Yes.
Because nobody, especially with herbs, nobody wants grass-like substances.
They lose their flavour or
Yes.
that, do they not, over time? So I think you have to have a good
Yeah.
weight on them, don't you, really?
You have to turn over
Yes.
as fast as possible.
Yes.
And people like that
And
idea.
you sell them by the bag, I believe, don't you? Or by the gram?
Buy a teaspoon if you wished. You can
Okay.
have a teaspoon, and if that's all you do want, a teaspoon is, happy for me to sell it,
Fantastic.
because they're going to get the best taste possible.
And you've got other products in the shop, which I believe
Yes.
are on a sort of a more eco-friendly aspect, which is washing up liquids.
Washing up
this
with,
type
yes,
of
laundry
cleaning
liquid,
product.
fabric conditioner.
So people bring their own carton, do they?
Yes, or
Have
they.
topped up?
There is a slight caveat to that. That we got a circular round from Culver itself, that if the family had young children, we could not put our product into a bottle that said a different product.
I see.
Because if the child was taken up to hospital having drank this liquid, they would be unaware of what it was. So if somebody brings a bottle in that's not standard, that doesn't say what is in it, is going to be in it, then we ask, have you got any children? Have you got any likelihood of children getting into contact with this? Well, yes, we have to be a little bit...
That's specifically for the cleaning products and the
Yes.
washing products?
Yes.
Is there anything else you sell in there, like homebrew? Or
Oh, yes, we do.
Homebrew. We'll have a chat about your homebrew, because I think that's probably quite close to your heart, isn't it, really?
That was my hobby many years ago, was homebrew. And it's not just a hobby, it's part of a foraging. Because there's certain wines you can make out of oddities. Elderflower is the obvious one, elderberry, blackberries, bananas, oranges. But everybody starts off with the very first one, which is tea and raisin wine. Everybody starts off with that one, and it always works out. It turns out like a sherry, and there's next to nothing to do with it. It works itself. The raisins supply the yeast, the tea bags or tea, or the leftovers, the dregs supply the liquid, and it really works.
beer, I see.
Oh, beer is
as well.
beer is, you have to, if you like making beer, you have to be a hippie. Because you just throw it all together, shrug your shoulders, and whatever you do to it, it's not going to stop. It's impossible to fail on a beer.
Oh, I'll remember that next time that I try it for myself.
Well, that's my concept of it, because touch wood, I've never ever failed with a beer. Some of the wines, banana wine, I have so much trouble with. My wife, she decided she wanted to make a banana wine, so I warned her, do not make banana wine. Said you'll never clear it. It'll always be cloudy. Well,
is that because of the sugars in it, I guess? Or?
She absolutely made it crystal.
No way.
I don't know how she did it, but she put me to shame.
Well, it just shows you Brenda should be listened to, doesn't it?
Brenda the Spender, yes. Yeah, she's always listened to.
So after these 39 years, your clientele has changed a little bit over
yes.
time, over the period. And I understand now it's your intention to finally retire.
Until a few months ago, I had no desire to retire. But it seems that the powers that be have wanted it for some time. My wife has wanted us to retire. And B, I think my body has decided that it wants to retire. The sugar, the porridge oats, flour, they're all 25 kilo sacks. And these are quite
I get it.
chunky.
Yes, it's quite a weight, isn't it?
So manipulating those around, it's thrown up one or two problems in the back, in the legs.
I totally understand, and I think it's
a bit wimpish, I feel.
Sometimes life just throws these things towards us, and you have to say, well, that's it, I've done now.
But we're hoping that people will come along with a new vision. Not change so much, but I wouldn't like to see it change, because all businesses, especially to me,
you have to change with the times.
Oh yes, you must follow the trends if you can. We sometimes were advanced to the trends, and that was a failure. Especially on the Isle of Wight. Perhaps in London, we used to go to an exhibition every April called Natural Food Products. Marvellous exhibition. Loads of suppliers there. And when you see these things, wow, that is fantastic. People will love that. But the island isn't ready for that.
The island's a very different place, isn't it?
Yes.
Mainland.
A friend of mine, a shipwright, used to come over and see us. And he reckoned that every foot that he walked down the pier at Ryde was 1 year back. I think he must have been back to the 16th century by the time he got.
Yes, exactly. So what are you going to do with yourself when you finally...
I love gardening. I do enjoy travelling, but Gatwick now scares me. So Gatwick is out. I like coach travel. To put a name with it, I think Carden travel is very, very good. They pick you up. You know, they look after you. But many other companies do as well, but Carden features heavily in mine. So I do enjoy travelling, but not excessively far. My daughter now lives on the Isle of Lewis. Nothing I said, I hope, but she enjoys life there. She works for Tesco's, of all things. And she also works in the local village post office. How they understand her Isle of Wighter, I will never know. Now she understands that.
How do they understand that? Yeah, exactly. When are you hoping to retire?
Well, we would like to finish at the end of our tax year, which is March. But that's subject to, people's whims and desires. And we've got nothing planned for this year at all, I don't think. Other than I would love ever since being a boy, I've had a fondness for railways and steam engines in particular. So I've decided, after much consideration and reviewing the situation and the finances, to get a collection of second-hand clockwork railway engines.
Marvellous.
And build it in the garden.
Yeah.
And that will be, I think building more than running will be my pleasure.
Yes.
I think that once it comes to running, I might get a bit bored. So,
But adding to and maintaining.
yes, and
building,
making
yes.
bits is
Yeah.
fine. I was trained, the Navy trained me as a fitter and turner for gunnery systems and torpedoes. So I would like to use that expertise that I haven't really bothered with since I was
Well, hopefully you won't have the need to have torpedoes on your trains or anything.
No.
But, you know, it does stand you in good stead for making a very nice model railway, doesn't it?
It'll give me a hope, and it'll certainly fill the garage.
So if in your retirement and that, the new proprietors that take over, is there anything that you could sort of want to say to them to be able
No,
to...
I think that as long as they've got youth and enthusiasm on their side, which I had, well, my wife started the business a year before I left the Navy, so we had my naval pay to support us. So she started when she was 38, and I started when I was 39, at the end of 39. And so that's a good age. You're still fired with enthusiasm, and the children usually at that age they'll be left alone. They don't have to be nursed or...
No.
Yes, if you have very young children, I think it will be hard work.
So what would you like to say to the new proprietors? Would you
Good luck.
Good
God
luck.
bless. And
And would you like them to have as many happy years as you
as
have?
many happy years, more than I've had.
And selling the same products?
Selling the same things, but putting their own
Spin?
spin. Yes, putting their own character on the shop. And
Fantastic.
that I become forgotten, but I'll still be a customer.
You'll still be a customer, and Graham, that's what makes it work for everybody, isn't it, really?
It is.
Thank you very much.
Oh,
indeed
Chris,
for
it's been a
talking to
pleasure.
us.
I'm sorry my voice is so...
Most interesting, and I really wish you best of luck for the future.
Thank you very
Thank you
much.
very much.
Thank you. God bless.